When you're thinking about a growth strategy, of course, you're thinking about how to incorporate a referral opportunities for referral business. And there is a place for that in your growth strategy. Um, but it's problematic, right? It's problematic based on the premise of it's transactional. So your customer or an affiliate or a partner is incentivized to drive traffic to your website with the idea of a conversion. And yes, we are in marketing. Yes, we're selling things. We have a company. We're here to make money. But when you're relying on a transactional strategy to create transaction, that is something that is a bit dangerous. While it is necessary, the advocacy pursuit is a healthier, more sustainable, better, all around better approach to getting the same outcome. Think of it like this, right? What's in it for me is their motivation to talk up or send traffic to your business. Instead of the advocacy is, my God, this company, this brand, this product is so awesome, I can't stop talking about it. Which one do you want? You want both. So when I work with brands, I always look for, we always do the intrinsic deep dive, like who are we? What's our story? What are we about? What do we care about? And then we do the extrinsic, like who are the customers? And the cost per acquisition for customers, when you do general marketing math is, cost this per customer. But all customers aren't the same. There's some of us out there that are obsessed with these brands, that evangelize and gift and repeat buy and advocate, sell for us, right? Who are these customers? What makes them tick? Why do they do this? And that's what I really try to seek out. And the benefit is clear, right? A average customer, the total lifetime value of all your customers is another, average, but they're not all the same. Some of those customers I call lightning rod customers. They're the ones advocating for you. They're the ones that are out there. The only incentive they have is more emotional and psychological because they just can't get enough. And what are they saying? Who are they saying it to? What's triggering them to think of your brand to bring it up? And those lightning rod customers are on average are worth 10x what any average customer works. So your total lifetime value of a customer, say, is $1,000, right? Well, man, 10 times that, 10 grand, and the cost per acquisition is generally the same. Wouldn't you want more lightning rods? Wouldn't you want to spend? Isn't that time worth the effort and the resources to figure out why the hell it is that they're doing this? And just think of it yourself. What brands are you a fanatic for and evangelizing for? I have a few that I love and some I work with, which is the best. Not all of them, maybe someday. But you think about, like, I had this information, this experience. I want to give it to you. The rule of reciprocity. And this is a great time to talk about, and I talk about it all the time because it's magical. The rule of reciprocity it states that, paraphrasing, like if someone's nice to you, as long as you're not like a psychopath, that is the limiting factor. And if you want to attract psychopaths, you can't use this. But as long as you're like not a psychopath, that if someone's nice to you, you feel compelled to reciprocate. And you think about, like, I grew up in an Irish Catholic neighborhood, and you would go over to your friend's house, and their mom or whatever, dad, whoever, would be like, "Hey, Bobby, do you want some soda bread? Do you want some tea? Do you want some water? Do you want a peanut butter jelly sandwich?" Yeah, right. And then you go and say, "Mrs. So and So's the shit." Right. And then you would help her with her groceries. You would, help shovel her front if it snowed, like whatever, right? You would look out for them because you felt that generosity, right? And that made such a huge difference to how you perceive that person. This works with brands as well. Our human psychology and nature applies to everything in our existence. If you go back even further than the neighborhood, you can go to the history of the Americas. There is documented history back to like prehistory, so it's not written on paper, but when humans ran into humans, when we were very like few and far between, particularly in Americas, because I read about that stuff because I really like it. They were just generous to one another. They helped one another out, right? And of course, there was ones that were not nice, but I'm not saying everybody was nice. But like you ran into another, human in the Americas somewhere along the Mississippi River 15,000 years ago. What did you do? Well, you helped each other out, right? And that's the real reciprocity. But then Columbus came and the rest of his friends and said, wow, they're inviting us in. Let's kill them and take their shit. Psychopath, right? So there's the difference, friends. McDonald's did a study a long time ago in a book I have that's very yellow. So I don't know when it was published, but they talk about, I think it's called Influence, marketing book. Great one, very dense, not fun to read. But the information in it is amazing. McDonald's did a study. They said, okay, this many of our restaurants, we're going to track giving a parent who comes in with a child, like a balloon or something. And then we're going to track the equal amount to do a scientific study. Give them nothing. Every parent that came in with a kid, whether they're going to get something for themselves or just the kid, some shitty Happy Meal or not, when they were given a balloon, they spent more. They bought things that they weren't planning on buying. Why? The rule of reciprocity, right? So when you have a clear like story around your brand, a narrative, right? And that narrative is real and authentic, and you're clear about what you give a shit about, why they should trust you, your customers, your visitors to your website before their customers, and you understand what they care about, what they give a shit about. Right? This is all real and authentic stuff. You can figure this stuff out, hypothesize, and then bring it to market and test. But when you can bring these things together, right, you can create the opportunity for advocacy. And the most important component to that, and I've worked with brands, big and small, complex products, hard to sell, high tech, hard to sell, hard to understand. What you need to do is give them the stories. Give them the stories to tell. Just like human history is well known and often said that storytelling is as important and was as integral to human survival and proliferation as water. And you're gonna hear my Philly accent. It's water. Spell that? No. That's what you need to do. What stories are you giving them? So oftentimes we do surveys or outreach to customers, again, because I want to know what's drawing them in so I can figure out who the lightning rods are and connect that thread and then use that to get more of them. But when you take surveys and you give people, or even when you're getting testimonials or reviews on your web experience or your products, if you ask them to start from nowhere, tell us what you think. The chances of you getting something worthwhile, constructive, helpful, useful is so low you shouldn't even do it. Unless you just want stars. Stars are important. But we want advocacy too. That's free marketing. Word of mouth, right? We don't really talk about that in the consumer world, but like word of mouth applies. People that talk about it in small businesses. No, it all applies to everybody. If I'm out there wearing some fresh ass Adidas and people are like, yo, I dig those Adidas. I'm like, yeah, just got them. They're what I don't have Adidas once I have Chucks. But they're the Sambas, right? I had the black ones. I got the white ones. So like they look good, right? And I'm like, yeah, they do. And they're comfortable as hell, right? I am telling stories. I am sharing a positive outlook, opinion, experience, and basically recommending them to them. That advocacy, that word of mouth is what you're seeking. So when you're trying to get, like, I'm a storyteller, so for me it's natural. But for everybody else, when you're trying to get something constructive from them, feedback, review this product, it's great. It does what it says, right? Worthless in terms of advocacy. You need to give them something. Again, be generous. You want them to be successful in their desire to give you feedback, give you a review, give you advocacy. I like to say, like, oh, well, hey, you've had your product for 10 days. Tell us what you think, right? That's what we all do, right? Not enough. Most customers say they experienced this and this. How about you? And then you gave them something. You put something in their head. You gave them pieces of a story for them to give back to you. And listen, this works so well. I've used it to influence other people to not my bidding, but to where I want them to go. For example, I will give ideas and concepts to a CEO, and I've been doing this for like 20 years. And it's so outrageous and terrifying because they're not as brave as me that they're like, fuck that, bro, get out of here. And I'm like, okay. But what happens is I planted the seed and it comes back to me as their idea.